Please welcome to the stage, Rob Pinkerton.
Hi there. I'm Rob Pinkerton. I lead Oracle's CX strategy for our product development team, and I also manage our technology operations for marketing, a big part of our customer experience here. And I'm here with a group of us to talk about the opportunity of enterprise AI for your customer experience. I'm going to be joined by 4 of my colleagues from the product team. They're going to give you about 9 demos, lots of crisp little demos that transcend the entire enterprise. And my expectation for this session is that when you leave here, you're going to have some ideas for how you can think big about enterprise AI and your customer experience for your business, but also have the tools so that you can start small and act fast, right? We want you to think big, but we're trying to empower you to start small and to act fast. And if you're like me, and I have to also manage customer experience for Oracle, this week has been a little overwhelming, right? I mean, there is a lot of technology that is suddenly already here, right? It really starts to feel like the future that we've been talking about for so long is now, right? And to give some weight to that point, I would ask if everyone could just think a little bit about, like, what is our collective understanding of what the future would be, right? I mean, we've always sort of imagined that robots were the future, right? When I was a kid in the 80s, I watched the Jetsons. Did anyone ever watch the Jetsons, like cartoon with Space Age Family and Rosie the Robot? And Rosie was kind of like this robot. This is probably a non-copyrighted robot that's easier for us to put in a PowerPoint. But Rosie could cook, she could clean, she could do everything with the kids and do homework and drive. And she was sort of this all-in-one robot. And this is part of our culture, right? Is that the robots of the future, and whether it's C-3PO from Star Wars or Data from Star Trek, like we have imagined this future where robots are this one machine. They can do it all. They can even help you get dressed if that's useful. And that's the future. And I'd say that's also sort of how we've thought about customer experience as a system inside the enterprise, right? We've always sort of thought of customer experience as like, you're going to go invest and buy in that one system, and it's going to deal with your customers for you. And I think, and that's been great, right? So many of us have worked in that industry for years, for decades. It's been, it's always grown. It's always been full of innovation. But if you've worked in that industry, we know it's not easy to keep up with our customers. In fact, from our research, we know that every enterprise over 10,000 people will likely have at least 650 apps in the front office, right? Like to help manage customers. Like that's a lot of logins. That's a lot of tools designed to manage the customer experience. And so as we look to think big about customer experience, and we think about enterprise AI, what we also have to do is we sort of have to rethink about how we use these systems, not as this all-in-one tool to enable sales and service and marketing and to automate them or even replace them. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is trying to build software that helps you integrate the rest of the business into your customer experience, to collaborate across the enterprise, to reach the customer in new ways, and ultimately to rethink how you operate your business possible. To do that and to collaborate across the enterprise, we got to get back to basics. It's not just about selling. It's not just about marketing. It's not just about service. It's about customer experience. What is customer experience? We got to help win the customer's business, we got to keep the customer happy, and we got to find more happy customers. That's it. It's super simple. But if we want to think big, and if we want to really realize the power of enterprise AI, we're going to have to get back to the basics and bring the rest of the enterprise along. And so thinking big, the AI-enabled enterprise will allow us to keep up with our customers. We know that the single system, the all-in-one, won't do it. So let's go back to the metaphor of the robot. You're going to hear a lot about robots today. This robot has not yet become the present, right? This future is not the present. I don't have a robot that can cook and that can clean, that can drive me, and that can help me with take my blood pressure. This is not our current future. But it kind of is if you get over the idea of the all-in-one robot, the all-in-one system, right? All these things already exist. There's someone who can answer my questions in the kitchen whenever I call out her name, right? We have robots that clean the rugs in the pool. We have robots that will drive us if you've been in a Waymo or a Tesla. We have robots that will help surgeons. We have robots. I used my robots to check my home security this morning. We have robots that do everything, right? The future actually is now. It just doesn't look like we had imagined it. And in order to take advantage of that future today, we have to reimagine how it's going to show up and how we use it. And that's why we're so excited about all these agents, right? And we're trying to bring forward as many as we possibly can, because anywhere we see a task that could be potentially beneficial from an agent inside the enterprise, it's an opportunity to help you with your customer experience. And if we want to think big, we got to start small. Each one of these is an opportunity for you to start small and act fast. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to think big, but to start small. And so that's why we keep talking about all of these in such a, in the way that we are. And so what we're going to do now with I'm going to invite a bunch of folks out to help give a bunch of demos to just demonstrate, right, to show what we're talking about. And we'll go in the order of the traditional functions: marketing, sales, and service. How do we find more happy customers? How do we win customer business? How do we keep our customers happy? And how do we collaborate across the enterprise? In each one, it is a rethinking of how we think about customer experience and the technology we deploy drive it. So in marketing, AI will finally allow us to scale timelessly all those fundamentals so that the entire enterprise can reach customers and win more business, right? Larry talked about this yesterday. This is our unified marketing and sales suite and all that we're bringing forward in this context, or will bring forward. And he talked about some of this yesterday in his keynote about, will he know who's most likely to buy in the next 6 months, and how are we going to qualify those agents, or agents to qualify and to predict next purchase order. Those are the things that we've been using. You see those somewhere. I know it's a big slide, but they're up there. But that's what we're talking about. And we'll talk a little bit about that in these demos. We will, if you were in, I see Kartik in the front row, if you were in Kartik's session yesterday on Race to Revenue, he talked about how his customers are really innovating how they win customer business for their customers in the middle office, a non-traditional function, collaborating across areas that haven't traditionally been thought of as customer experience in billing and packaging and subscriptions. But really, his customers are innovating. They are coming up with new ways to rethink the way they win customer business. These are the things, and that they started small with an idea, they acted fast, but they're thinking big, and it's having a major impact. And then finally, with service, this is probably the area that most people think they understand when it comes to enterprise AI and the opportunity, but it's actually the area that's most misunderstood, right? We're not building software to replace our users. We're not competing with our users. Everyone understands service because of that frontline customer experience, and maybe that's why people are saying things like that. That's not what we're about, right? We're building software to help our service departments bring the entire enterprise forward, reimagine the business, and keep their customers happy. And you're going to see this in the demos that Brett and team will give of how we're enabling teams to look down the supply chain or work across the enterprise to anticipate, to automate, to think about service before service becomes a problem, to keep those customers happy. So I'm going to ask Jeff to come out now. I think he's back there. You can come on back, Jeff. Come on out, Jeff.
You ready, man?
I'm ready. Are you going to give me a hug?
Oh, I'll give you a hug.
You're like Paul.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's your job here?
I am the head CX technology evangelist.
That sounds like a cool job.
It is a cool job. It's an awesome job. Dream job.
Do you have a favorite robot?
Do I have a favorite robot? Yeah, get this. Obscure cut for all of you out there. Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Oh, somebody remembers Johnny Five? Remember that guy? He even built his other Johnny Fives. He had a laser. He was deadly, dude. He was awesome.
That sounds cooler than Rosie.
He was cooler than Rosie. Yeah, right. Johnny Five could do everything. He's airtight.
What do you got for us?
Today, all right, so this is our last we're kind of wrapping up here for CX. So I thought, since this is the end session, highlight reel. We're going to run the tables just like I said. We're going to go through marketing, sales, service, show you all the latest stuff we got, and show you what an AI-driven CX org looks like from end to end. So are you ready?
I'm ready. It sounds good.
All right, well, good.
I'll come back.
Yeah. While you're coming back, I'm going to bring out my first victim, Vice President of Product Marketing for product management, for marketing, Steven Strike. Steven, come on out. So, buddy.
Hello.
He did it to me, so I'm going to do it to you. Who is your favorite robot?
I know you're going to give me some grief for this one. I picked it just for you. Okay. I'm a child of the late 70s, early 80s. I'm going to go with Tweaky from Buck Rogers.
Tweaky?
Anyone? Anyone? Biddy, biddy, biddy?
You guys are going to have to Google that. That's fascinating to me. You know why? Tweaky was absolutely worthless. That is as far away from Johnny Five as you get.
I know.
He brought nothing to the table.
I like to support the underdog.
All right. Well, you have a demo for us about AI-driven marketing.
Yes, indeed.
And this better not be the Tweaky of demos here.
No. Well, I mean, robots need love too.
Yes, they do.
No. Well, despite the fact that Tweaky was not particularly useful,
right?
He may be good at one-liners, maybe good at some camp. Yep. The agents that we have built for marketing as a marketing team can dramatically speed up the process of program planning. Yep. From something that would take maybe weeks or months even to determine an audience, figure out the content, do we know the right people, do we have the right accounts, do they have the right adjacencies, get everybody aligned. That's a very difficult problem today. We can collapse that to days, maybe even hours.
Oh, sweet.
And it sounds like not very probable, but when I explain what's happening under the covers through the power of the agents and the access to the data that they have, the access to the tools that they have, you'll see where the benefits come from.
All right, fire away.
Okay, let's get to the demo. Get it up on
yeah.
screen there. All right, so for this demo, I'm going to assume the role of a product marketer named Marie. She works for an energy company called Inspire, and they've just created a new geothermal product. They've done the new product introduction process, so they've got collateral created, they've uploaded it into their PIM system, they've got the Y-buys, and all of that stuff exists. But now her challenge is, I need to cross-sell this to my install base. She specifically wants to do a cross-sell because they built this product as a replacement, with a replacement in mind and with some adjacencies in mind. So her goal now is to say, I want to create a marketing program with the right target audience. I don't want to spray and pray. I want to get real customers that are a good fit, and this will be relevant to them. And I want to be able to figure out who that audience is, create some tactics, and execute a program. So she could log into Fusion, go to their new marketing orchestration capabilities in our Unity data platform, and she comes to the program screen. Now, she could build all this stuff manually, as is traditionally done today, build segments, query the data, ask somebody else in some other silo for a data warehouse export. But now, because this is all in Fusion and has access to the front and back office data, she can go in and ask Oracle, and we can query the database directly. A supervisory agent at this point in time is going to interrogate her query and then understand which sub-agents can go and get the answers for her. So she needs to launch this product, and she's going to ask a very natural language question. And she's going to say, if I go into the field here, Inspire is launching this GeoStream district kit. Don't worry, the system knows what that is because it got the product hierarchy and the account hierarchy. All of that stuff exists in Unity. I need to target this with a program. So it's thinking. It's looking, okay, it's this product and this product family. It's adjacent products for cross-sell, upsell, or these other products. These are the accounts that have those products, have the right firmographics, are in the right location, and have the right account product fit. We have a data science model in the background that does account product fit, and we have a number of other characteristics that are quickly being interrogated to identify that there's 478 potential commercial and industrial, and it knows that commercial and industrial is the right target because of the nature of the product in North America that could be interested. Would you like to target these accounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should.
Fire up, yeah.
So I'm going to say, well, you know what? I don't quite trust you yet. So can you show me a sample of the accounts that you have selected? Show me a sample. And it's going to come back, and it's going to pick a random selection from the audience that it picked. I can eyeball these
I can say, yeah, I know some of these accounts. These make sense to me. If I wanted to, and probably what you would likely do, is you could open these up and see a whole account 360-degree view. All the products and services, their health, all the other things that would validate to you that this is the right selection. But for the purposes of time in the demo, I'm just going to say, yes, I would like to target these accounts with a cross-sell program. Right now, we're still having a conversation. It's still giving me information, and I'm responding to it. The next step is a very important one from an account-based marketing, target account perspective. It's now asking me, and it's now ensuring that do we know the right people at these accounts to actually be able to run an effective program. Because it's one thing to say you have all these accounts. It's another thing to say that the only person you know at all these accounts is the procurement officer. So that's not going to be a very effective way to sell. So it's saying for this type of a product in this geographic region, these are the types of personas and roles that you need to make sure are in your buying group to effectively, effectively engage and effectively drive an opportunity forward. And this is done by a buying group agent that we have developed. The buying group agent has been trained on hundreds of thousands of titles and roles across different industries and is able to say, this is the structure that you need, and then is able to take that and intelligently look across your entire database and see if you know people in these types of roles in your database at these accounts, to give us some comfort that we actually are not wasting our time here. So I'm going to say, yes, use this buying group definition. I could change it if I wanted, but in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Now it's done a further segregation. It says, okay, great. If I look at these buying groups, 182 of these accounts, I'm going to say, are in the awareness stage. Awareness because maybe they're a good fit on paper, but there's no indication of intent. There's no indication that they're in a buying cycle. Maybe you're missing some key members of the buying group. So you're going to have to do some nurturing. You're going to have to do some nurture tactics for these accounts if you want to get them engaged and get them moving along. But there are 76 that are in a consideration stage. So consideration can mean a few different things depending on the account. It could mean you know a wide swath of the people, or that they are in the right life cycle stage because maybe a product's coming off warranty, maybe they're just having a service issue. There's a number of different signals that can be intelligently indicate that they are in this consideration stage. And as it turns out, there's 220 that are actually in we think ready for sales. Like this is what we would call a conversation-ready opportunity. You should send these over to a BDR, SDR, or an account executive now with the context of here's the account, here's the program brief, here's the offer, here's why you should reach out to them. And you'll see subsequently in the next demo what happens with all of that information in sales orchestration, how that gets fed downstream. So I'm going to say, yes, I would like you to generate a program brief for me. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Because we have uploaded product collateral and because we have in the system the nature of these products and the competitive benefits that they provide, the system is able to generate through a program brief agent a summarized key message, what the objective of the program was from my initial prompt, and then a bunch of other data related to the program. Allow me to validate it. I could change it if I want. Again, to move things along, I'm just going to say, go ahead and create this program. Now, for the first time, what's going to happen is I'm going to start actually creating stuff in the system. Up until now, we've just been having a conversation. Now it's saying, okay, before I create the program, what about those 220 qualified accounts? Do you want to send them to sales right now? Or do you want to call sales and say you should expect these? What's your process? I'm just going to say, you know what? We've got the program brief. We've got the buying groups. Let's just send these to sales as opportunities right now. They're going to know what to do with them. If they have any questions, they can ask Oracle. So congratulations, 220 opportunities have been created in sales. And now I'm going to go ahead and create the marketing program. So now the chat closes. I'm actually creating a real object in the system now called a program. The program has the base information that I started with, how many accounts, what you're trying to do. I'm cross-selling into the install base. And it has preceded a bunch of marketing tactics. Marketing tactics can be things like a webinar, or a nurture email, or a LinkedIn ad. Because this is a cross-sell, it's suggesting or recommending through a tactic recommendation agent, why don't you start with an industry white paper and a LinkedIn ad for awareness? And for those that are in consideration, A customer reference story is actually really good for that, because if you're in the consideration stage, what you want to do is de-risk your purchase. You want to feel that somebody else has been successful in using this product, and that you're not going to get in trouble, or you're not going to be left high and dry if you buy this product. So I'm going to go into the first tactic and have a look at what it set up. And this is what we call a guided process. It's like a 5-page wizard. But because this is done in an agentic fashion, I could have filled this out one step at a time by myself. But because of all the prompting, it already knows what the properties of the tactic are, what the audience is. It created the audience for me. It's picked an email template. And because, again, we have all the collateral for the product, it has generated body copy for that email template. So I don't necessarily trust. I'm going to trust but verify what the email actually says. So I'm going to go look at the email. I'm going to read the copy. It picked appropriate imagery. It's taken, it's synthesized from a large language model perspective, the copy. I read through this. Maybe I think this is too formal, so I can ask it to, rewrite make it a more conversational tone. And then it'll go and create another variant. And one of the really powerful things here is that you can create variants for the different personas. So the CFO is going to get a different message, probably more aligned to ROI and risk and stuff like that than an end user might get. So I'm going to accept this variant, continue on my way, and I'm going to activate that tactic. Now I've got a running tactic. So these programs are probably going to run for a period of time. Some of them may be always on, taking new people as they qualify. So I'm going to show you one that's already baked. I'm going to go back to the marketing list. I'm going to go into EV Charger Home Essentials. So we're both a B2B and a B2C company here. This is like a wall charger in your garage for your EV. And you can see there's a number of different tactics: awareness, consideration, and so forth. An in-showroom demo, an EV at home webinar series. I can see how many people are in each of these steps, each of these tactics at any given time. I could look at analytics of how people have flown in and flown out. The success rate. I didn't mention success rate earlier, but it's an important part of a tactic. Each one of your tactics has a goal, and that success criteria helps you understand if the tactic's performing or not, and allows you to dive in and say, hey, I should tweak this, I should add a new tactic, I should change the copy, and the system will actually prompt you when tactics are underperforming. I could also look at it visually. I could see red and green, good, bad. Hopefully I'm not red-green colorblind. And that'll tell me, the performance of this program. That whole thing, soup to nuts, historically probably could easily take weeks, maybe even a month of talking to many different people across the organization to get the right data pulls, argue about the nature of the accounts, argue who should be in the buying group, and so forth.
Yeah, and this is going to be probably fantastically more accurate, more adjustable and everything because you're using the power of AI.
And you can do it, I went through a very quick run through, but you can ask questions in that chat window that are continuous questions to refine, refine, refine. You might actually get to the point where you say, you know what, this program doesn't make sense. I'm not going to waste time.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Now, though, you sent all those leads over the sales.
Yes.
I got to sell some stuff.
Qualified opportunities.
Qualified opportunities. You got it. Thank you so much, Stephen. Catch him after the event. All right. We're walking down our process right here. Next up, Kamyar Sarachavar. Come on out, buddy. Vice President of Product Management for Oracle Fusion Sales. Kamyar. All right, so you got some work to do because that was pretty impressive.
Yes.
But before we begin, I'm going to give you a softball question.
Yes.
Who is your favorite robot?
Autopilot from Airplane.
Wow. I don't even want to make jokes about that. I'm shuffling through all the scenes in my head.
Yeah. No, see, the reason is there's a lot of talk right now about co-pilots. And that's where we're different at Oracle. We build pilots. We don't build co-pilots. And let me show you how we're going to do that.
All right.
We need to teach our agents how to sell, because you wouldn't want to take tennis lessons from somebody who doesn't know how to play tennis.
No, I don't want to be over here on YouTube saying I hold the racket like this.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
That's what you're going to do? All right, I'm going to give you this, and we'll fire up, and why don't you walk us through it a little bit?
All right. So let's pick up where Stephen handed off. So here we're looking at our new AI-first application that we built for our sellers and pretty soon for your sellers too. And here our seller, James, is working on one of those qualified opportunities. Now he's been engaged on this opportunity for a little while, but notice something different. We're not looking at forms and fields and lists and things like that. It's, what are you here to do? So James is obviously part of an opportunity team, and that includes other reps, solution consultants, business value analysts. So the first thing we do when any of those people come in is tell them what's going on, what's been happening, and then what are you supposed to do next? And this is where our agents shine, because when you define what you're supposed to do next, maybe sometimes your agents can actually go do those things. So in this case, you're supposed to get back to your customer with a business value assessment. And our agents have already prepared that in an email. The email is crafted already for review. James reviews it. But our agents are smart enough to also suggest, hey, there's another contact here that might be interested in getting this at this customer. You should include them, even though they were not on the original thread. James does, sends it. Now we move forward, and we're getting ready for the next meeting with this customer. And here, again, our agents are smart because they know your products, they know your customers. These talk tracks for the meetings are specifically for this meeting. They're not some generic thing that somebody else wrote that, oh, in your first meeting you should say this, and in your second meeting you should say that. No, it's for this meeting, what are you supposed to say? Based on notes, whiteboard pictures, any conversations you would have had with the customer that you're captured in the system, we will generate your talk track for you. And then, of course, if you need more information, we can give you that too. So if you want to do a quick analysis of what's going on between you and a competitor, we can show you that. We'll generate it for you. So you go into the meeting, you're prepared, or if you're already in the meeting, you can come back here and ask for it. And when you're done with your meeting, we come back, we help you log the transcript, and you're done. So here, what we're trying to tell you is our applications are designed to help the seller sell. But let's also talk about how we take these agents that we showed you that know how to sell and leverage them to interact with your customers. Because if I'm standing by on what I just said, our agents know how to sell, then sure, you should be able to help your organization by talking to your customers as well, right? So in this case, we're going to pick up another example where one of your customers, your longtime customers, Jenna, is coming in here for a renewal. So we've already prepared the renewal quote. She comes in. Our agent is interacting with her, answering any questions about this renewal quote. She knows her account team. In this case, Adam is on the account team. And all the related documentation is already there for the review, the proposal, the contract, the new quote. And let's not forget, this is actually a really good situation to do more with this customer. As any of us know, yes, you can generate leads and qualified opportunities from marketing, but if you already have a customer that's engaged with you, that's actually the best time to go do more with them, do more in that moment. So here, our agent is actually recommending an upsell. So based on everything we know about this customer, I mean, they've been a long-time customer with you, they're doing a renewal, you can look at their usage and say, you should go with the premium plan instead of what you got before, which was your base. But you can also do a cross-sell. So just like we were looking at James working on that cross-sell opportunity that came from marketing, here you have the customer, you're engaged, you can recommend that cross-sell of that same monitoring cloud service to this customer. And if Jenna is interested, she can find out more about it. But Jenna is a savvy buyer, right? If she's buying more,
yeah,
what are you going to want? You want a discount.
You want a discount. You don't want the deal that's put right in front of you.
That's right. So you ask for a discount, and with the discount, now our agent says, okay, yeah, I have to bring Adam into the picture. So now the agent basically kicks it back to Adam. Jenna says, okay, fine, I'll talk to Adam. Let's get this done.
And how is Adam going to do it?
And how is Adam going to do it? That's the question. Well, this should look familiar. So here, Adam is coming into this picture. Now, in this case, the engagement summary is that, hey, the agents have actually already been doing stuff. And this customer is interested in these products and wants a discount. OK, let's go look at a quote. There was a quote. What's going on? These are the products that the customer is interested in. But now, like any good seller, what's Adam going to do?
Well, he's going to try to get the
He's
deal
going to add
he
more
wants.
products.
I mean, it's got to be a
He's
win-win.
going to want to do more with this customer. Because if Jenna wants a bigger discount, you got to justify that with a bigger deal. So, of course, we're going to go suggest extended warranty. And with the extended warranty, again, you associate it with the product. That's what you're supporting. You add it to the quote. Now, again, the agent comes in and says, OK, don't overdo it with the discount. Stay within the limits. You don't want to take weeks going outside a process of non-auto approvals and maybe lose Jenna's interest.
Right.
She's ready to go. So, hey, let's keep the discount, submit it, get it done, get it accepted, and that's it.
That's actually pretty impressive. So when are you going to go and unleash all these agents and bots on the Oracle customer base? Are they working on it now?
We are working on it now. Our sellers at Oracle are using this.
So look
and
out,
our
guys.
customers will
We're
have
coming
this
for you.
early 2026.
Now, thank you so much, Kamyar. And listen,
You want this back?
I do. And well, you go back there with Tweaky and your autopilot inflatable robot from
Thank you.
from
Yes.
Airplane. Who picks that one? Oh my God!
Yeah, I can't help it. It just keeps popping in my head.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, last stop. We got to go service. Part that's close to my heart. I'm going to bring out Vice President of Service Product Management, Brett Weigel. Brett, come on out. So, Brett.
Hey, Jeff.
I'm going to
How are
ask you the question, but I want to let you know, like Kamyar originally told me, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go with that dude from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he's technically not a robot. He was a synthetic human, but I'll let it slide.
Right.
And then he hits me with the inflatable autopilot.
I know.
So, Brett, who is your favorite robot?
Well, did you read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Of course, I'm a tech nerd.
I love Marvin, the depressed android. He's amazing, and he's really sad to have to do all the odd jobs around the starship, but we're going to treat our AI better and help it to work well with humans. So.
That's a solid pick. I mean, it's like leave it to the service guys to come up and bring up the depressed robot, like, oh, got to fix everything. Every problem's mine.
Brain the size of the
Yeah,
planet.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude. Well, last year when we were on the stage, Jim showed full service automation from incident to resolution, how we could automate the entire service lifecycle.
That's right.
This time you got something a little bit different, don't you?
Yeah. So you want to see another chatbot demo?
Not really, no. No, I'm kind of over it at this point.
We're not going to do that. I will say, though, we think that the world of the service professional is really going to be transformed by analytics working together with AI to help to spot problems. So we really want to get into the world of the service manager and how it's going to be transformed. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So Melinda Jones works for Supremo Power. Kamyar just helped us to sell products, and Melinda's watching for issues. And in order to do that, she has a service home that's really her homepage for looking at key KPIs like quality, performance, and then the level of automation across her operation. As she views this, she sees that some of her metrics look great, but she has some insights that are coming across in an action list. And in particular, she's interested in this first one around data sync issues with the GeoConnect product, which was recently launched. So to get more information, she drills into that. And as she does so, she's going to see a pop-out screen that gives her more information about this. And what we're really doing is using AI to cluster together all the similar service requests around this issue so that we can kind of spot a potential problem and help her make it better. Now, this isn't the biggest cluster of issues that she's got on her plate today. It's the orange dot, so it's relatively small right now. But the thing you'll notice on the bottom right is that it's growing incredibly quickly. So there's a problem here, and she and her team are going to want to get ahead of this before it gets too big.
Get on it, man.
Yeah, so how does she do that? So Melinda continues to work in this age of automation with a team of talented professionals. She's able to take a link to this issue and share it through her collaboration tool. So she goes over to Abdul, who's in tier 3, and Abdul's a product expert. He works alongside the engineering team, and he's going to help us solve this problem by taking a look at the issues in more detail, and then figure out how the automation can work better going forward. So in Abdul's view, he sees a list of open service requests within Fusion Service, and he's able to kind of scan the titles, and he can see that there's some data sync issues. He's starting to talk to the product team about what might be going wrong. So as he clicks in, he's able to kind of view a summarized take on what this issue is specifically about. He sees the interaction history with the customer, and through talking to the product team, he realizes, okay, there's a firmware issue. The customer needs a workaround in place in order to keep moving forward with the product. So what he does is he quickly composes a message to this customer. As he does so, quickly comes out and goes to the customer. And then he can resolve the issue. And he's going to benefit from AI writing his solution for him. So all of this is quick and convenient. And he's solving this one service request. Remember, we have another 26. And then probably there's even more behind the scenes stacking up as he's doing this. So once he's resolved the issue, now the system has more to base its possible resolutions on. And the thing is that when you're employing AI to automate end-to-end, the system simply doesn't know about things that haven't come across its plate yet, right? We need knowledge base. We need similar service requests that have already been solved. And then what we can do is we can use that for full automation going forward. So what Abdul's going to do, he tells his manager, hey, I solved the problem. Let's take a look here at what the big picture is like back in the service home. Yeah. So Melinda, again, watching her KPIs, she's able to drill back into that issue with GeoConnect. So let's take a look at how that's doing.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Brett, it's really grown already.
Yeah, it's getting really big. You can see the dots quite a bit bigger, the lines spiking. We're really dwarfing the other problems that were already identified in the system. So what she really needs to do now is to connect what Abdul did to the automation underneath. So she's able to go back to an action bar on that problem-specific view. And as she does that, she reruns automation for this group of service requests. And what that's really doing is refiring our resolution agent. We've launched the resolution agent in the last year in addition to a triage agent, and they work powerfully together to take into account all of the incoming requests, figure out what they're about, and then automatically resolve them with an action plan and engagement with the customer on a fully automated basis. So now that we're rerunning this, you can see that the line's plummeting, the cluster goes away. And so this problem is now solved, and she can really turn her attention to the bigger picture.
Fantastic. Now, but so she's kind of putting out a lot of important fires right here, but she's going to want to look at things in kind of aggregate, right? Like
yeah, no, exactly.
How it's working across their whole system.
Yeah, so what she's actually able to do here is she can close this out. She can click on any of these KPIs at the top, and she can get a deeper view of what's going on across her operation. So she could look at quality, but in this case, she's looking at automation. And what she wants to see is the sequential flow of inbound service requests. And you can see some are coming from chat with a self-service agent, some are coming in from email, and then they follow various paths. There's really a service journey for these customers who are contacting Supremo Power to get help. Some are having humans dive in even after the AI had a role. Some are fully contained by AI. And there's even some SRs that stay open after a period of time. And that's of specific interest. Now, she actually wants to filter this as well. So she wants to look at GeoConnect specifically. She wants to look at the last week just to get a sense of how that's going. And you can see the bars change a little bit. So we're able to filter this view to a specific problem, or we can look at the whole operation. As she hovers over the bars, she wants to look at, okay, for the ones that CSRs touched, what were the issues there? And then similarly, for the ones that remained open, what are the issues that are really coming up? And that really forms the roadmap for Abdul, Melinda, and the team to be able to go ahead and continue to solve problems so that they can achieve as close to 100% automation as they can possibly get. So cool stuff.
Yeah, fantastic.
And what we're able to do as well is, further down, we can start to provide some of those metrics that our service executives are really interested in, right? So everyone wants to know how many upfront requests am I actually containing and deflecting? What is this actually saving me in terms of cost, right? We all have a cost per interaction that can be quite high depending on the channel and depending on the product in the industry. So we're triaging up front. We're actually containing. That really has an impact on the cost and the bottom line. And then we can also track how long things are taking to resolve in the first place, and that really maps back to customer satisfaction. The more convenient that service is, the happier customers are. So we really want to make Melinda, Abdul, the whole team hugely successful with service going forward.
Fantastic, Brett. And thanks for giving us a completely different view.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Rob, come on back out. We did like we said we were going to do. We ran the tables. We showed somebody using AI and automation to find an audience, create a program, create tactics. Then we showed how sales orchestration works, how we can do self-service quoting, how we can actually help our sales reps close business. And then we ended with showing how we can actually take a look at all the automation, everything going, how they're all working together. So hope you like what we did.
I loved it. I was getting texts backstage. People were enjoying it as it was going. I won't tell you who had the best robot. I'll let people decide for themselves.
Okay, the best robot.
Yeah.
Is it our favorite robot that's right at the top of the escalator, Tipsy, the bartending
No, that's
robot?
next. So hold on for that. So before we go to the bar, think big.
Okay.
We're here, enterprise AI. This is about making a customer experience a collaboration across the entire enterprise. Start small.
Right.
Start a project. This is what these agents are about. Identify something. Just get started and act fast. We have de-risked this thing for you. You can start small and act fast with a big vision. That's what we want you to come away from. Hopefully we gave you some ideas to go do it. Now, I guess there is one more future robot that's going to happen now.
And that's Tipsy.
What is Tipsy?
Tipsy is the bartending robot. Have you seen him? Walk out this door, go up the escalator. There's a bartending robot up there. Probably the most important robot of the show from this point on. So all of you, before you wander over to Def Leppard, meet Tipsy.
I'm down with that.
I'm down with that too. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for coming, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.